The year was 1945. World War II had ended, but peace was fragile. Two superpowers emerged, the United States and the Soviet Union. Former allies, now rivals. Their ideologies clashed, democracy and capitalism versus communism and state control. Joseph Stalin sought to secure Eastern Europe, alarming the West. In 1946, Winston Churchill warned that an Iron Curtain had fallen across Europe. The world was now divided, and anxiety grew. The United States responded with the Truman Doctrine in 1947, pledging to support nations resisting communism. This marked the start of containment, stopping Soviet influence, not direct war. The Cold War had begun, a conflict of ideas, spies, and fear. The lines were drawn, and the world braced for a new kind of struggle. The fragile peace of 1945 quickly gave way to suspicion and rivalry. The Iron Curtain became the symbol of a divided world. The United States and Soviet Union began shaping global events to fit their visions. The Cold War would define the next 4 decades. The world watched as two superpowers set the stage for a global standoff. The struggle would be fought not just with armies, but with influence and ideology. The fate of nations now hung in the balance. The Cold War was underway, and there was no turning back. The world had entered a new era, one of tension, competition, and uncertainty. The Iron Curtain had truly descended. The Cold War was a battle of beliefs, capitalism versus communism. The US promoted democracy and prosperity through aid, like the Marshall Plan. The Soviets offered a vision of equality and state control, appealing to the oppressed. Each side used propaganda, aid, and covert actions to win allies. The world became a chessboard, every nation pressured to choose a side. Competing definitions of freedom fueled suspicion and hostility. The ideological divide shaped global politics for decades. The world was split in two, and the stakes could not have been higher. The Cold War's battles were fought through proxy wars, not direct conflict. Korea was the first major test, North backed by Soviets, South by the US. The war ended in stalemate, the country still divided. Vietnam followed, North communist, South anti-communist. The US intervened, fearing the domino effect. Years of brutal fighting left Vietnam devastated and America divided. These wars were fueled by superpower rivalry, but locals paid the price. Proxy wars turned civil conflicts into global crises. For many, the Cold War was a distant power struggle with devastating consequences. The cost was measured in lives, not just ideology. The Cold War reached the skies with the space race. In 1957, the Soviets launched Sputnik, sparking US fears of falling behind. The race was about prestige and missile technology. Both sides built vast nuclear arsenals, creating the threat of mutual destruction. The Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962 brought the world to the brink of nuclear war. Diplomacy narrowly averted disaster. In 1969, the US landed on the moon, a triumph in the global rivalry. The space race and arms race defined an era of progress and peril. Humanity reached new heights, but lived under the shadow of annihilation. The Cold War was a contest of technology, fear, and survival. The world would never be the same. By the 1980s, the Soviet Union was crumbling, its economy failing, its people restless. Mikhail Gorbachev's reforms, glasnost and perestroika, sparked hope and upheaval. He signaled an end to Soviet domination in Eastern Europe. The Berlin Wall, symbol of division, fell in 1989 as crowds demanded freedom. One by one, communist regimes collapsed. In 1991, the Soviet Union dissolved. The Cold War was over after more than 40 years. The world had changed, shaped by decades of rivalry and risk. Its legacy remains in alliances, conflicts, and the nuclear weapons that still exist. The long twilight struggle had ended, but its echoes continue today.